Hey folks, so I've had several requests on how we roast our coffee on the stovetop. So I want to make a video kind of demonstrating the process that I go through to process our green beans. So we buy them in bulk like this, and they're just green coffee beans. You get them from a coffee broker. We use the Coffee Bean Corral, and I'll put a link in the notes or in the comments of this video. And we buy it 50 pounds at a time, so it comes in a big Ziploc bag, basically, in a box. And they do send you the burlap coffee bag, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this is what we start with. And then the other things that I'm going to need, I have 2 colanders, 1 wire and 1 metal. And that's to, once it's roasted, to separate the shaft, which you'll see that. And another thing I use is this popcorn maker, and I've had this thing for maybe 6 or 7 years. We've used the dog out of it. We only use it for coffee. We don't use it for anything else. So there's no popcorn or oil or anything that's ever been in it. And this is a dry roast. So we'll put the beans in there and they'll be dry. So the first thing I do is go ahead and start warming this up on the stovetop. And I put it at an amount of medium heat and let it come up to temperature, and then I'll dump the beans in there and start spinning. And basically what this is there's a paddle on a handle, and you just twist it and it tosses those beans around in there, and it kind of gives them this agitation motion so they don't burn. And that's really what we're going to be doing. So there's going to be parts of this video I may try to speed up just so that you're not waiting for 5 to 7 minutes while I toss these beans around in this pan, and that way we can get to the next step after they're roasted. And now what I'm listening for with the roasting, it'll go through a 2-crack process. They'll make the first pop, and that's the bean opening up, and then the second crack lets you know that they're just about ready. And then I do our beans a little bit lighter. You can do a darker roast, it's really up to you, but you'll be able to see and look at the beans at that time. Now also we have when we redid this kitchen, we had a vent hood put in that was twice as strong as your average vent hood. The average kitchen vent hood runs, I think, about 350, 325 cubic feet per minute is moving air. This one runs over 700. So when I first started doing this, I did it outside because it is smoky, it is messy, but you'll know that once we get this vent hood fired up, it's pretty noisy. So we're going to go through that process. So let's get to it. And I usually do anywhere from 2 to 3 cups at a time. You'll also notice I kind of give it a little flicking movement. And I think that just tosses the beans around a little bit better. The steam's going to come up through these holes on the top of these popcorn makers. It'll get kind of hot, so that's the reason I got this kitchen towel. Now you can, and I have seen people do this in a cast iron skillet. You can also do it in a wok with a wooden paddle. Basically, you're just roasting and agitating these beans. We like this method. We actually have a second popcorn popper. We thought this one was on its last leg, but I've been able to nurse it along, so we actually have 2 of them. The other one we have is a little bit smaller. I may put the link to both of them in the comments. I can see the chain start to come off the beans. That's like a grassy coating, I guess, it covers. open the front door and take both those colanders out and just set them out on the front porch, on the, like the steps. The colanders, please. All right, so they're starting to do the first crack. I'm going to go ahead and shut this fan down. See if you can hear it. It's making like a popping noise. Here, there they go. Now the second crack is going to sound a lot like, I like to describe it like Rice Krispie. You used to eat that cereal as a kid, it kind of has that little crackling sound, but it's not the popping that the first crack did. It's the difference. And once you start hearing that second crack, you can start checking the bean to get to the desired brownness that you're looking for. We do a medium roast. Not too dark. Always turn off the fire first. Cover this so it doesn't smoke as much. Let's go. Do this while I'm holding the camera. All right. You hear that other crack? Sounds a little thinner. Now what we're doing is we're just gonna pour these beans back and forth between the two colanders. And you can see all the shapes separate. It's better if you have a little breeze. We're also cooling off the beans to stop the cooking process. But you'll see that shape. That's another reason it's better to do this outside because you're going to make a mess. We use a burr grinder at about a medium grind. All right, that's pretty much it. Then we go inside and we do a couple more batches, depending on how much you want to make at a time. Right now, it's right before Christmas, so we're gonna be gifting some coffee, so I'll make a couple more batches. Let me see if I can take you in there and you can kind of See what the finished product looks like. Let me see if I can turn this camera around and show you what we ended up with. So there's the beans. They're still pretty warm. There you go. 15 minutes later for one batch. Thanks for watching.